Imagine waking up one day and remembering an entirely different life, complete with a different name, family, and even a different home. Sounds like a plot from a movie, right? But this is the real-life story of Shanti Devi, a girl from India whose claim of remembering her past life shocked the world and left both skeptics and believers grappling with questions about life after death. It all began in 1930 in the bustling streets of Delhi. Shanti Devi, born on December 11, 1926, was just 4 years old when she startled her parents with an unexpected revelation. During a simple family meal, she confidently told her parents that her real home wasn't in Delhi, but in a place called Mathura, nearly 100 miles away. Naturally, her parents dismissed her claims as childish imagination. But as the months and years went by, Shanti persisted. By the time she turned 5, Shanti began to refer to herself as someone else entirely, claiming her name in her last life was Lugdi Devi. She spoke of Mathura as though she had lived there all her life, describing its streets, landmarks, and people in astonishing detail. Then, she dropped another bombshell. "This isn't my real family. My husband and son are waiting for me in Mathura." Shanti's parents were puzzled, but still believed it was just a phase. However, by the time she turned 7 in 1933, her claims became increasingly detailed. She described the house she lived in during her past life, the exact layout of the rooms, the clothes her husband wore, and even her struggles with pregnancy and childbirth. She also began to mention specific names, including that of her husband, Kedarnath, and insisted that he was still alive. It wasn't until 1935, when Shanti was 9 years old, that her parents decided to take her claims seriously. Her vivid recollections were becoming too specific to ignore. The family decided to investigate, hoping to put an end to the mystery. Shanti's teacher, impressed by the accuracy of her descriptions, even reached out to Kedarnath, who still lived in Mathura. Initially skeptical, Kedarnath agreed to meet Shanti and test her claims. When the family traveled to Mathura later that year, they began by asking locals if they knew of someone named Lugdi Devi. To their astonishment, they discovered that Lugdi Devi was a real person. She passed away on October 4, 1925, just a year before Shanti was born. Lugdi had died in childbirth after suffering from complications during her second pregnancy. Every detail Shanti had provided about Lugdi's life, including the house she had lived in and her family's circumstances, matched perfectly. The meeting between Shanti and Kedarnath took place soon after. As soon as Shanti saw Kedarnath, she immediately recognized him and addressed him as her husband. She provided intimate details about their life together, including specific conversations they had shared and family traditions from their marriage. For example, she described a promise Kedarnath had made to her during one of her final days, a detail he later confirmed to be true. The most extraordinary moment came when Shanti accurately described the location of a hidden compartment in their home where Kedarnath had kept some money. No one else knew about this secret, leaving Kedarnath utterly convinced. Shanti also recognized Lugdi Devi's son from her past life, showing him maternal affection that was startling to those around her. This meeting left both Kedarnath and the investigators speechless. News of this extraordinary case spread quickly, capturing the imagination of people across India and beyond. Was this a case of reincarnation, or was there some other explanation for Shanti's unshakable memories? The story reached such prominence that it caught the attention of none other than Mahatma Gandhi. Intrigued by her story, Gandhi arranged for a special committee of 15 prominent researchers, including spiritual leaders and scientists, to investigate Shanti's claims. The investigation was rigorous. The committee interviewed Shanti extensively, challenging her with questions about Lugdi Devi's life. They also spoke to Kedarnath and Lugdi's relatives, verifying every detail she had provided. To everyone's amazement, the committee found that Shanti's knowledge of Lugdi's life was not only accurate, but also far too detailed to have been fabricated. The researchers were left with no explanation. Shanti Devi had never traveled to Mathura before the investigation, nor had she been exposed to any information about Lugdi Devi or her family. Yet, she spoke with a clarity and conviction that was impossible to dismiss. For many, Shanti Devi's case became a profound argument in favor of reincarnation, a concept deeply rooted in Hindu philosophy. According to Hindu beliefs, the soul undergoes a cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, carrying with it the karma accumulated in past lives. Shanti's memories seem to offer tangible evidence of this ancient spiritual idea. However, skeptics were not entirely convinced. Some argued that Shanti's knowledge might have been acquired through overhearing conversations or being subtly influenced by others. Others suggested that her vivid imagination and keen observation skills might have played a role. But even these explanations failed to account for the astonishing accuracy of her memories. Shanti's story didn't just stop with the investigation. She lived her entire life as a testament to the idea of reincarnation, often sharing her experiences and helping others explore questions about the afterlife. Spiritual leaders saw her as living proof of the soul's journey beyond death, while scientists and psychologists continued to study her case as one of the most compelling and well-documented instances of past life recall. The story of Shanti Devi raises profound questions about the nature of consciousness, memory, and the mysteries of existence. Shanti Devi's story did not merely fade into obscurity after the investigation. On the contrary, her life and claims remained a focal point of discussion for years. After Mahatma Gandhi's involvement in her case, the findings of the committee he assembled were widely circulated. Their report concluded that Shanti Devi's recollections were beyond rational explanation. This official recognition added a layer of credibility to her claims, cementing her story as one of the most documented and debated cases of reincarnation in modern history. After she visited Mathura and her reunion with Kedarnath and Lugdi Devi's family, Shanti's story gained widespread attention, not only in India but across the globe. Journalists, spiritual leaders, and curious skeptics visited her in Delhi to hear her recount her experiences. While most came away convinced, a few remained unconvinced, attempting to poke holes in the story. However, the consistency of her details over the years silenced many critics. Shanti herself expressed relief after meeting Lugdi Devi's family, feeling that she had fulfilled a deep spiritual need to reconnect with them. However, she did not seek to re-establish herself as a part of their lives, instead choosing to return to her own family in Delhi and continue her education. Despite this, she maintained a lifelong connection with the people she referred to as her previous family. Shanti Devi's case resonated deeply within the cultural and spiritual fabric of India. Reincarnation is a central tenet of Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism, and Sikhism, faiths that form the cornerstone of Indian philosophy. According to these beliefs, the soul, or Atman, is eternal, passing from one body to another through the process of reincarnation. The cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, known as samsara, is driven by karma, the accumulation of good and bad deeds from past lives. Shanti's story was seen as tangible evidence of these teachings. Her case also sparked a renewed interest in the study of Jyotismara, past life memory, and other mystical phenomena. Spiritual leaders hailed her as a living example of the soul's immortality, while some religious scholars saw her case as proof that spiritual truths could manifest in the modern world. While the spiritual implications were celebrated, Shanti's story also attracted the attention of scientists, psychologists, and researchers interested in exploring the boundaries of human memory and consciousness. In the years that followed, her case was frequently cited in studies on reincarnation. Dr. Ian Stevenson, a renowned psychologist from the University of Virginia, dedicated much of his career to investigating cases of past life memories in children. He cited Shanti Devi's case as one of the most compelling examples of reincarnation. Stevenson's work involved rigorous methods of cross-referencing claims made by children with historical records, and Shanti's detailed accounts made her one of his most studied subjects. Skeptics, however, offered alternative explanations. Some suggested that Shanti's knowledge of Lugdi Devi's life could have been acquired unconsciously through overheard conversations or subtle clues in her environment. Others hypothesized that her vivid imagination and intelligence allowed her to construct a convincing narrative. However, these theories failed to account for the specific details she provided, details that were verified only after the investigation. Shanti Devi's story was not the only case of past life memories to gain attention, but it was one of the earliest and most thoroughly investigated. Over the years, similar cases emerged from other parts of the world. These cases raised questions about whether reincarnation was a universal phenomenon, or if it was influenced by cultural and religious beliefs. Shanti Devi's story stood out because it occurred in a culture that already embraced reincarnation, but her case challenged even the most devout believers to reconsider their understanding of the soul's journey. As Shanti Devi grew older, she continued to reflect on her experiences. She remained deeply spiritual, often sharing her story with those seeking answers about life and death. She refrained from commercializing her experiences, instead choosing to live a quiet life. Shanti was known for her humility and unwavering belief in the truth of her memories. Later in life, Shanti expressed a profound sense of purpose. She believed her experiences were a reminder to humanity of the continuity of the soul and the importance of living a virtuous life. Her story inspired many to explore spirituality and question the nature of existence.